Yeah, I mean,
Right, fuel pump assembly housing.
Hi guys,
So this one isn't working, and why is that?
Yeah, so this car runs for a few seconds, then cuts out.
Yep.
2 reasons. One, non-submergible fuel hose, and obviously it's basically too big, so it's looped like that in the tank. But
Because it's non-submergible, that means that the fuel will eat away at
breaks
it.
down, yeah, so it goes soft. So basically when it's in the pump and it's on that, it's like that, but when it's bolted into the tank, it's bent double, so it's obviously it can't put any fuel out, basically. Yeah. So that's the first issue on that. Second issue, the fuel filter wasn't attached to the bottom of the fuel pump.
Okay.
Okay. Third issue, when these parts go together, basically that little bit that sticks out there and that little bit there goes down to the fuel pressure regulator.
Yeah.
And that should have a seal on it.
Right.
Obviously without the seal it can't build pressure, therefore again the pump doesn't work. So several issues in this particular instance as to why this car doesn't run properly.
Now, have we got parts that we can rectify this from an old unit?
Yeah, we're going to have to strip an old unit.
So
basically.
we'll have to strip this spare unit from the stores to make this work.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, well that's why it doesn't run. So good. Nice one, Rich.
Nice one.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony Hart. Okay, so a little bit of a list of spec, and we're going to tell you what this one has made today. So this is a Mitsubishi Colt CZT. Obviously it's a 1.5 turbo engine, as you know, and today we've mapped this one up. Now this one's got some modifications on it. As you can see, it's got some stuff that you don't recognise. So it's got a full Dynodaze custom hard pipe and front mount intercooler setup using what we call a welly cooler. It's got custom intake, and the reason it's got a custom intake pipe, hard pipe that's been made, is because we are running a TD05 Evo turbo on a custom manifold. Again, all Dynodaze stuff. Rich, you're happy with the outcome of this particular vehicle? It followed suit as my old TD05 setup.
Yeah, well this is your old setup, so pretty much everything was made to fit and work. The only thing that this lad didn't buy from you was obviously the 3-inch exhaust.
Yeah.
So he's had a 3-inch exhaust.
The 3-inch exhaust is quite nice, isn't it?
It is lovely, to be fair.
Good work.
We made the original downpipe and over the subframe, and then he's made his own exhaust made from there, again in 3-inch. Yeah, so most of the setup is exactly as it was when it came off your car.
Yeah, so it's running Denso 550cc pink injectors. It's running a DW200 fuel pump,
yeah,
which we fettled today.
We had our problems with this morning initially. Do that. Once we put on the dyno this morning, started to do some calibration pulls with it. Had a misfire, which we diagnosed pretty quickly to a plug and the wrong coil pack fitted to the car.
Yes, it did have a wrong coil pack.
Yeah, a short one, which is weird because I don't know where you get that from.
I think they're from the NA cars.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But yeah, about an inch too short, so that would definitely give us a misfire. Was rectified that, obviously, started to make some power. Creeping the boost in. We've tabletopped at about 20 psi, which is pretty much where you'd set a hybrid at, and most of the sort of big powered ones of these that we do. It's responded really well. Peak power's at 6.6. Unfortunately, probably reaching flow restrictions of standard throttle body and inlet, which are very small on these.
Yeah.
It's pretty much holding power, to be fair, to the rev limit. We set the rev limit at 7.3, but it is slightly dying off. Peak power is 6.6. But nonetheless, it's good. It's sort of on full boost by 5,000 RPM. The graph looks good. Probably feel a little bit laggy on the road, but once you're on it and staying on it, it should feel pretty good and pretty impressive. Still won't have that mid-range punch of a hybrid though, unfortunately.
No.
Just because of the size of the turbo and the size of this engine.
But 301 brake horsepower, and sticking with the limit of 250 foot-pounds of torque.
We've tried to cap the torque as much as possible. There's pros and cons. You've got to trade one off for the other.
Yeah.
So we've tried to have a really nice boost curve, nice linear boost curve, so it's not thumping in, and it's obviously not chance of bending rods as much as possible, although that's not a guarantee. To
quote Aerosmith,
living on the edge.
Living on the edge.
Yeah. It's definitely well up there. It's the maximum this engine's ever going to take, and I'll be honest with you, I would expect it to throw a rod at some point.
Yeah. Okay, well that's tuning.
Yeah. So it's just, we've been given what we've been given, so I've tried to keep it as safe as possible. Absolute max limit 250, which we're at, and to trade off because ultimately the customer wanted the 300 brake that we've had on this setup before, and we've achieved that today. So
should we have a look at the graph?
Yeah, let's have a look at the graph.
Okay, so here's the graph. Here's the power curve.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, we've, it's coming on boost pretty much from around 3,600 RPM. Seeing sort of peak boost, really around about the sort of 4.5 to sort of 4.8 on the graph. That's where the torque sort of tabletops and flattens off. Continues to make power all the way through to 6.6, which gives us a peak power of 300, and then we do slightly drop off, I would say by about 20 brake to the limiter. But again, that's flow issue. We revved it out to 7 grand, and we sort of almost had peak power, peak revs then, but because obviously it comes on boost so late, I sort of added a bit more rev range in to hopefully try and make it feel a little bit better on the road. No point in revving it any further because it's just going to continue to lose power.
Yeah.
You'd be revving it for the sake of it.
But at this stage, with this sort of power, the Ecutek software is still capable of what we need it to do.
The Ecutek software has done everything that we've needed it to do at this point. It's not. It's no different to mapping a hybrid. It's no different to mapping a stage 1 or a stage 2 car at this point.
Sure. So there she is. Head result. Okay. Well done.